So today I'm outside trying out my new vlog lens, the Sigma 10 to 18mm f2.8, made for crop sensor cameras like the A6700 that I'm filming on right now. And yes, this is a Sony mount, but this lens also comes in Fuji X and Leica L mounts, so it is a universal lens for several camera brands. And as you can see, I am quite wide in the shot actually at 10mm, which is a 15mm full frame equivalent on this camera. And yeah, I kind of like the view that I'm having right now. I'm really wide and I'm just holding my camera on the lens, so I don't have any kind of extender or anything. I have my arm quite bent, let me show you, kind of like this. And I think this is a quite a nice vlogging setup. So today I am going to try this lens out, and it will be kind of a first impression video. Yeah. So as a vlogging lens, this lens works quite alright. Like I said, I can hand hold my camera just by holding the lens. I don't have to extend my arm so that the whole thing gets heavy. And that's another thing, it's a small lens, it doesn't weigh that much. And it's a full frame equivalent to a 15 to 27mm. So it's not a full frame equivalent to a 16 to 35 or 15 to 35, which is the most normal used vlogging lens in the full frame world. But as a substitute for that kind of lens for the APS-C line of cameras, I think this works really great. And the benefits of having an f2.8, as you can see, is that I do have some kind of blurry background. And the price, yeah, it is a bit pricey, I must say, for an APS-C lens that don't have that much zoom range. Actually, it's only from 10 to 18, so 8mm. It is really difficult to make these YouTube videos when you only have two hands. You want to hold the camera in one hand, the dog in the other, and then you want a second camera filming you filming yourself, and that's one hand too short. So yeah, should probably don't bring the dog next time making a YouTube video. One of the, let's call it, downsides of this lens is that it doesn't have image stabilization, or OSS, optical steady shot, inside of the lens. So you do rely on the in-body image stabilization of your camera if you do have that. I do have it in my A6700, but I did not have it in my ZV-E10. So do keep that in mind if you're considering this lens, because walking with this lens without OSS or image stabilization, it does make this footage a little bit more shaky. So we can let's try a vlogging test with and without the image stabilization of the A6700. So this is a walking test with the Sigma 10 to 18mm on my A6700 without any image stabilization turned on, and I'm just holding it in a rather comfortable distance from me, and yeah, I do think that there will be some shakiness to the footage. But let's turn the in-body image stabilization on in the camera. Now we have the standard image stabilization turned on, or IBIS in the camera turned on. I do think that it is a little bit more steady from what I've seen before, but you can tell me, what do you think about this footage right now? I am just holding the camera like I was without the image stabilization turned on, and I'm walking in a normal pace. So this is the walking test with the standard in-body image stabilization turned on. And now I'm using the active in-body image stabilization of my A6700, and as you can see, it did crop in a little bit, but with the 10mm of the Sigma 10 to 18mm, it's not a problem because it's still wide enough to be able to vlog with it. And hopefully the image is more stabilized than it was without the in-body image stabilization turned on. Hopefully. Anyway, leave a comment down below what you think about the IBIS of the A6700. Having a wide lens like this 10 to 18mm at an f2.8, it's actually not that important, because the wider the lens is, the more will actually be in focus because of the compression of the background. That's why if you have a, let's say, 500mm lens at an f7.1 or 8 or something like that, you still will have a blurry background because of the compression of the background, because of the focal length of the lens. And that's reversible when it comes to a wider lens. Even though you have a wide aperture like this f2.8 on a 10mm lens or a 15mm equivalent, full frame equivalent, you still will have stuff in the background in focus. So Sony does have a wide angle, I think it was a 10 to something, maybe 11 to something, but that's an f4. Of course, it's an advantage to have the f2.8 if you're in dark conditions, because then the lens will let in more light. But if you only focus about the, let's say, blurriness of your background, it actually doesn't matter that much to have an f4. You still will get almost the same kind of look from an f4 lens as you will from an f2.8. So just have that in mind when you buy the lens you want. That said, I think the Sony something wide lens at an f4 is still just as expensive as this, if it's not more expensive. Up to you what kind of lens you will buy. So my first impressions about this Sigma 10 to 18mm, I really like it. Fits well with the A6700, and of course I could always want more zoom range. So if it wasn't 10 to, I don't know, 22, 20, something like that, so it would be more like a full frame equivalent of 15 to 35 or 16 to 35. that would be great. But it is what it is, and price wise it's a lot cheaper. So let me know in the comments down below what you think about this lens, about the photos that I took today, and I will hopefully make a better review video about this lens after I've used it for a while. So thanks for watching, and maybe I'll see you in another video. Bye.